YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with Week 9 NFL score predictions, predicting every game all year long here. And we take a look at the spreads in these videos as well. But I do have my bets of the week for NFL and college on the Patreon. Junior has his score predictions on the Patreon. Trying to reach that 60K goal. We got a lot of NFL content here. Power ranking, straight up picks with the other guys of the Goat House already on the channel for Week 9. They go up every week. A lot of other videos. Really appreciate the support. Because of that, we're very close to 60K, so appreciate that very much. Follow that Twitter, constantly talking NFL, talking during every live game pretty much. So follow that Twitter, link down below. Again, Instagram, podcast, Patreon, a lot going on. Right before the score predictions, Patreon, more info on that. These are my score predictions. Junior's got his on the Patreon every week, every game. My bets of the week for NFL and college, updated playoff predictions every week. Bonus content, Discord, always adding more. Some more things in the works. Really, really appreciate your guys' support. A lot of you signing up for this. You guys are awesome there. So to my score predictions, first one's tough because there's no line right now because what's going on with the COVID situation. This game could get pushed back and who's in, who's out. The line definitely changes if the game gets pushed back because I think Aaron Jones will play then for sure, in my opinion, if the game gets pushed back. So the recent lines I've seen it bounce around between Packers -4, -4.5. But at this given time here on the 4th of November, I don't really have a line here, so I didn't want to just throw a random one up on the board here. But I don't think it's that tough to predict, what could go down in this game. Maybe a little closer than people would expect, given all those Niners guys that are out. But remember, some Packers guys are out as well. And Kyle Shanahan seems to have a good game plan for teams like this. He's had a good game plan in the past against the Packers. It seemed like it was a mismatch, a matchup issue with the Packers, the Niners that is, in the past. Because they get pass rush, and they're a real tough running team that open up the passing game. Seems to be the Packers' weaknesses. With the injuries they have, it's going to be tough to do that. So I do have the Packers taking care of business. I think a lot of clock could come off the game because the Niners will try to stick to that game plan there. If Aaron Jones doesn't go, obviously Jamal Williams, A.J. Dillon going to be out. If this game's Thursday, and that would mean Tyler Ervin, Dexter Williams. Ervin will be more of the pass-catching guy. Dexter Williams more of the running inside the tackles type of guy. Dexter Williams, even though he's a practice squad guy, he actually can run. He's a really good runner at Notre Dame. It's just catching is an issue. So I got the Packers taking care of business. I still like the Niners secondary. I think they'll double up Adams. They'll try to slow him down. Easier said than done. They're gonna make the other guys be great. They're gonna have to be great on the Packers end. But again, I think a lot of clock comes off. A lot of guys missing. But if the Niners were healthy, I'd strongly consider them. They're just not even close to healthy. I got the Packers taking care of business 27-23. Next game, the Bills are -3 at Buffalo. That's how all these work. So Seattle, -3 at Buffalo there. So the Seahawks, I got scoring 31 points. I got the Bills scoring 27. The Bills are tough to predict on the score for this game. And that mainly has to do with them, but Seattle's defense as well. Which Bills are we going to get? I can see them kind of going back to the first few weeks as a defense you can score points on. Is Josh Allen just going to be too much for them? I think Stephon Diggs can have a pretty big game in this one. So can they score it up? Or the last few weeks have been pretty underwhelming. Teams have been able to figure out a game plan on them. I've seen a lot less of the variety of plays than the style of plays that we saw for Buffalo in the first few weeks, so that's concerning. They're getting guys like Zach Moss going, though. That's good to see. I got them scoring 27. I think Josh Allen's a pretty good game. Like I said, I think Diggs gets going. So and the running back duo played pretty well last week. They'll have a solid game again. So 27, but unfortunately not enough here. I think Seattle really just has a day throwing on them. The secondary doesn't seem anywhere near what we thought it would be and what it was last year. I just got in more of an offensive game. I have Seattle taking control here. If it was the Bills defense from last year, that could be the problem for Seattle in this game. But I don't see much of a difference defensively. I think Seahawks defense is getting better. They can get Carlos Dunlap, Jamal Adams back in the mold there. That definitely can help out. They're not going to win because of defense, but we could still argue that Buffalo's defense might be better, but I don't think there's much of a gap where that's going to be the game changer here. So I'll take Russ. I'll take Russ over Josh Allen. I think two good games for those quarterbacks, but that should be a pretty good game, though. Broncos, Falcons, I was surprised by +4. Not that it's a game I would really, it's tricky because it could go either way. But I was surprised the Broncos are underdogs by 4 points. I got them winning this game. I think I like them better, inside this Atlanta Falcons stadium rather than, maybe in the cold if it is going to be cold there. But I almost like that better for Drew Lock and the boys, in the Broncos there. So I got them taking. I like them better on both sides of the ball in this game. Maybe that's bold of me to say. I still think it'll be close. I think both teams will be kicking quite a few field goals. I think kind of a field goal game. So which team can get that extra score there, make that extra play on defense maybe. I definitely trust the Broncos defense a little more, even though the Falcons defense has actually stepped up a bit, been a little impressive. But Drew Lock got his confidence and momentum going that last game. I think he makes those extra plays look really good on third down last week. That is crucial. They're realizing Phillip Lindsay's definitely their guy. RB1, explosive, with the home run ability, hitting the hole with that speed. I like the Broncos in this game. I like them on both sides of the ball. Yeah, of course, at any given time, the Falcons very well could be better on offense. But in this game, again, field goals, I got the Broncos taking it. I got them winning 26-24. They're plus 4 points there, so interesting. Bears and Titans, and you may say, shouldn't the Bears score more points against the struggling Titan? What's a struggling Bears offense, struggling Titans defense? And you definitely could say that. But here is why I only have them scoring 20 points. It's because I think the Titans are going to go. They're going to go Derrick Henry, and they're going to melt the clock. They're going to drain the clock. That's their game. They're going to try to. The Bears got a really good defense. If I had to knock them on something, and again, this is probably more of the offense's fault, but because the Bears' defense is always on the field, but they seem to get worn down pretty easily. And I think that's what the Titans' game plan is going to be. And they're going to go Derrick Henry. They're going to drain a lot of clock early. It's going to give the Bears limited chances to put the points that you think they should be able to put up on the board. I think that running, that draining will open up the play-action pass as well for Ryan Tannehill and for the receivers like A.J. Brown. Corey Davis is actually having a pretty good year. So if the game stays kind of close, they have that in the back pocket. So I'm pretty confident with the Titans for those reasons in this game. But the Bears defense could make plays. See Tannehill a little more. He has more of a chance to turn the ball over as of late, but he's not like a turnover-prone guy. Was the Bears, what could favor them is they like to go quick on offense. It works when it's high tempo, quick passes, and that's kind of what beats the Tennessee Titans. We kind of can debate that as well because it seems like when the Bears put up points, they take shots downfield and they don't take enough shots downfield. So we'll see what Nagy decides. A tough guy to predict on what he's going to do here. What kind of game plan he'll have and a defense you should be able to score on. But again, I think the clock will definitely be the key for both teams. And I think that's cool. That it could be a bad thing for Nagy and the Bears, though. They could just really focus on running the clock, and the run game's just not working. You're going to want to pass on the Titans, so they can kind of shoot themselves in the foot by doing that. Because you see the Steelers weren't letting the Titans get in their groove, a couple weeks ago by draining the clock. So that's probably the key to beat the Titans, but that'll be the key for the Titans to beat the Bears as well. I think Derrick Henry succeeds in helping them do that. So a 28-20 win. The Titans are favored by 5.5 points in this one. Defense versus offense, though. Always excited to see those games. I like the offense in that one. Ravens and Colts is a defense versus defense mainly here. I got a defensive game, 23-20. You see the line at 2.5, and I got the winning by 0.5 more than that, so a little tricky. What's tricky here is that Marlon Humphrey's going to be out, and that's because he has the COVID. That's pretty tough. It's a big-time playmaker, a big-time corner. But do the Colts have the receivers that were much of a threat for the Ravens corners regardless? They still got Marcus Peters out there. So that's why I think that's actually not – it sounds like it is a tough loss, but it might not be devastating yet. Maybe some people may make it sound. It could be. But really it feels like the Colts' best receiving target is Nyheim Hines, which he's crazy athletic. I wanted them to give him the ball more, but I'm still not completely sold on the Colts' offense. I don't know if anybody is. It's definitely been getting better, but when they've been going against teams that can move the ball, that can run the clock, and can play defense, can they keep up? Can they outplay those teams? The Browns might not even have that defense, and the Colts really couldn't keep up with them. That was some time ago, but what can they do against the Ravens? Colts defense, extremely impressive this year. They'll slow them down. I think Jackson will have those big moments like he always does running the ball, so that is a new challenge for the Colts defense. I don't know if I trust the Colts offense enough, though. I think the Ravens could force some turnovers here, and they'll bring the blitz as well. So I have the Ravens mainly winning because of defense, but that extra offensive play, I look at Lamar Jackson kind of making that extra offensive play there for them. So I do have them winning, I guess, a squeaker here, 23-20. That should be a good game, though. Good defensive game. We'll see what happens there. Panthers, Chiefs. Yeah, I'm not too confident about the Panthers after last week. It was a downpour of a game, but very disappointing. They should be up. They're gonna have to. I think they're gonna be coming from behind. They're gonna have to air it out this game, unlike last game. I think they thought they could win just doing what they were doing. Playing small ball, running the ball in crucial moments, and that they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. But I think they're going to realize they're going to have to use their speed here on the outside, and they're going to have to score. They're going to have to air the ball out. So I think they'll get a decent amount of points doing that. I think the Chiefs just kind of outplay them really on both sides of the ball. I like the Chiefs better on both sides of the ball compared to the Panthers. So I got the Chiefs. It's pretty close to the line though. Yeah, I got them winning by 10. They're favored by 11 points as of now. So. That shouldn't be a really surprise there. That's what I expect. Lions, Vikings. I'm surprised the Vikings are -4. I do have them winning by 2 though. If Kenny Golladay was playing, which he's doubtful, I would probably pick the Lions honestly, because I think that would be too much for this young, beat up secondary corner unit, I should say, for the Vikings to handle. Kind of like instead of the Packers, they really got to focus on Devontae Adams, and that was really about it. If Kenny Galladay's out there, then you got several receivers you got to worry about against the Lions, but if he's out, the main target is out. I think that's a big problem in this game. They can do something similar to in Green Bay, but I still expect the Lions to score. I think Stafford will have a good game. The Vikings defense really isn't there this year, so I still think they'll score, but I also have the Vikings scoring it up as well. I think Dalvin Cook, the damage he's doing, I think he continues to roll on that. I think Cousins plays a pretty solid game too. Maybe Stafford outplays him by a little bit, but I think Cousins has a pretty good game. Seen them battle it out last year when they played each other. I think we can get somewhat of a similar game. I think Dalvin Cook is probably the difference maker, but the Lions missing Kenny Golladay if that's the case, and they lost Trey Flowers as well. Those could be the differences. I'm looking forward to seeing what this Vikings offensive line could do, because it looks surprisingly. Last week that was probably the best they've played in a single game by a long shot in a long time. So if they continue to keep that rolling, they're a sneaky team. They're not gonna go anywhere, obviously, but that could be a reason they win a game like this. That's winnable for both sides. But I got the Vikings winning. Offensive game here, 30-28, but a game that I could see going either way. Giants, Washington. I got Washington winning here by 3, and they're favored by 3. So Vegas with the line there. Last time I played, I did pick Washington, and the Giants won by 1 point. What happened in that game? The Giants played the field position game. They played to punt the ball, basically. They played to not lose, is what I like to say. And people will say that's an opinion, but I'm almost gonna say it's a fact. I feel very strongly about that. That's how they played. They didn't really play to win. It sounds kind of funny, but they played to not lose the game, and it worked out. They won. So. And Washington had a shot. They went for 2, went for the win. They didn't get it. Good play by the Giants defense. But we could tell this game can go either way. What I'm thinking this time, the Giants are going to have to do more than that. They didn't let Daniel Jones drop back and pass the ball in that game because if he did, they worried he was going to get against his pass rush. He was going to get strip sacked or he was going to force one in there for an interception. It worked last time. I don't think it's going to work this time. It very well could because the Giants defense has been good. Where's Washington's offense at? I think they step up a little bit enough, but mainly a defensive game. I think Daniel Jones is going to be forced to make that big play. And remember the last time the Giants got a strip sack for a touchdown towards the end of the game, and that was pretty much the decider. If that doesn't happen, Washington probably wins this time around. I still think the Giants are more likely the team to fumble that ball, if anything's going to happen there. So it's a game that can go either way. I think Washington's going to continue to get better. The Giants look like they're better against the Bucs, but another killer loss, so that takes a little some momentum away as well. I got Washington. This should be a good game, though. I think Kyle Allen will start heating up. You see, he has just as many touchdowns as Haskins with almost half, which Haskins has more, I guess, double the pass attempts. So that's something. I think Allen could start to heat up here. We'll see. Low-scoring game, though. 2 impressive defenses. Texans, Jags, I got a shootout, and I got it somewhat close. You may be surprised. Some people may be surprised by Jacksonville scoring 30 there with most likely Jake Luton, the Oregon State rookie, starting at quarterback. People may say, Really, they're going to score that much with their backup? I think so. Texans defense it's pretty brutal, and they're missing some guys as well. Bernard McKinney out for the year, so that's tough. But Luton, Luton, he's different than Minshew. He's very much different than him. So it's going to be tough. That's the thing with the Jaguars. That's why they won week 1, and they scored a good amount of points in week 2, is because it's quick, small ball. It's annoying to play against, and you don't really early in the year you don't have the correct game plan for it. But then teams started to realize, let's play press man, or even press zone. You can play in this tight coverage. They're not gonna be able to win with the small ball. It's pretty easy to game plan against. But Minshew could run that. It's all part of the small ball. James Robinson running the ball, but it could change here. Teams don't know what to expect with this, so the whole game plan might change. They might keep it the same. It might not work. So Jacksonville actually, I think, the Texans don't have the best defense either. So I think Jacksonville could score some points here. But I just got Houston outscoring them because I do trust their offense a bit more here. Deshaun Watson, especially off a bye, and then he'll do some damage. They're -7. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars actually keep it close. It might be a little bold there, but that's what I got. Another shootout. Raiders are underdogs. Maybe a little surprising, +1.5. Chargers it's a sneaky team, but they just can't close out games. But I got the Raiders. I trust the Raiders. I trust the Raiders offense more. Herbert. In that offense, they look explosive. They're going to make the big plays. They could turn it over here and there. But I think the Chargers, their impact on defense is pass rush. I think the Raiders' offense line kind of holds that down. I think they'll be able to wear the defense out with Jacobs to run the clock as well. But then they'll have those big shot plays down the field with Carr. And I just trust them a bit more. It's hard to trust the Chargers right now. Going against this offense, you're going to have to be consistent the whole way. So it's going to be out which team can be consistent. No blown drives and no turnover. Which team do I trust more in that to stay consistent? I trust the Raiders more. So I'm going to go with that. Going with them 35-31 there. -14 Steelers. I got them winning by, 27 points. Chance they don't score that many points, I suppose, because they could just run the clock. They could, and they probably will, and I think they could score that many points while doing that, but they'll probably just come out, run the ball, run the clock. Let's get out of here. Let's just get the win, get out of here, win on defense, win by running the ball. It's a possibility. They'll probably come out throwing, though, to get that lead early so they can go to that point. I also think the defense could score some points here or get the offense pretty much in that great position to score points, So I got them scoring quite a bit. Sounds like Garrett Gilbert will be the quarterback possibly for the Cowboys. I don't know if it really matters. I don't know. Danucci's probably worse, but I don't know if it really matters here. And they're relying on Zeke to go off, but he hasn't yet to go off yet. It's going to be tough to do it against the Steelers' run defense. We'll see, though. But, yeah, I got Steelers. No surprise there. I went with the upset here. I went, I guess, a little bold. I'm surprised it's as much as 4.5. That's not that much, but I thought it'd be maybe a 1-point favor for the Cardinals, 2-point. I have the Dolphins winning 26-23, though. I'm feeling, I felt the Cardinals against the Seahawks. That worked out. I think it's a totally different matchup in this game that could go either way. I'm very much impressed with both teams on both sides of the ball. I got more of a defensive game, though. In the back of my mind, the Lions, the Panthers game, really, it's still stuck there for the Cardinals. I think that can show up, at times. Their offense is kind of inconsistent. Play calling, Murray's been a little inconsistent too. Has a bad turnover here and there, but the receivers getting separation actually has been a problem, I think, outside of DeAndre Hopkins. You see Kirk getting open for a deep ball once or twice a game. Fitzgerald kind of gets open in the middle of the field and comeback routes seems like are slants all the time, but they're not getting a whole bunch of separation there. And I think going against these cornerbacks, against this pass rush, this blitz, I think it could be a problem. The Dolphins are arguably the best defense in football right now, and it could slow them down a little bit. So I'm just trying to figure out. And the Cardinals have potential to even score in the 30s against it because they're that dangerous, they're that good, But I think I think they're inconsistent. You can see them out there. I think they'll have those moments. They go 3 and out, and then they'll have that big play and they'll score. I need them to be consistent more on offense. I think people are very confident with the Cardinals mainly because of Tua. I think people are already putting a label on Tua that, he doesn't have those explosive plays downfield. It's just small ball. He's relying on the defense. If you're saying that, you could be right. I'm not going to say you're wrong, But there's really no logic behind that besides that they were winning the whole game against the Rams, and that's what they just chose to do because they were winning the whole game and they were winning on defense. I actually think that there's going to be big plays by Tua. Not a whole bunch. You see more of a defensive game, but I think he actually make those plays. The Cardinals don't have, without Chandler Jones, not that much of a pass rush, but their blitzing game is good. But the blitz will work here and there, but I don't think it's going to dominate Tua or anything. I think they'll be able to throw the ball there, but in more of a defensive battle, and people are getting hyped on the Cardinals defense, and it's better than expected. It's looking pretty good, but in the defensive battle, I like the Dolphins a bit more there. I need the Cardinals to put a consistent offensive game together in this game, and then they'll win if they do that. But yeah, it's kind of a toss-up game, but I'm actually, even though it's an upset, I'm pretty confident with the Dolphins here. I like the matchup. It's a totally different matchup than the Seattle game for Arizona. Next, Saints and Bucks. I got the Bucks winning by a touchdown. In the line's 5.5, so in that range, a little less. 31-24 Bucks. The Bucks have been more impressive than the Saints actually on both sides of the ball, in my opinion, the last several weeks. I suppose the Saints are on a winning streak. The Bucks a little close with the Giants. People kind of giving them smack for that, but I think the Saints have done the same thing. The Bears maybe a little better team than the Giants. Well, the Bears did the same thing with the Giants, but the Bears, the Lions, they were down with. Early in that game, they came back and won impressively. They had games like the Panthers game, the Chargers game they were lucky to get out of. So I don't think you can say that about the Bucks and not say that about the Saints. But those don't really matter too much. They end up winning the game. Now, this is the game that matters. We can't really judge these teams in the future based on those games. These are the matchups that we judge them off of. So that's why I'm really excited for this game. But I got the Bucks. I trust them on both sides. Look at the week one. The Bucks were pretty sloppy. A lot of new faces. Week one in New Orleans. The Saints got a lot of turnovers. I don't know if I really expect those things to happen again. I don't know if the Saints defense plays that great again. I think you can beat them with the deep ball. I think the Bucks will go for that. To side with the Saints, you could argue that they're really good at that fast small ball, and that's kind of what beats the Buccaneers. Don't give them a chance to pass rush or blitz, and their corners play pretty soft coverage. So that would be the argument for the Saints. Very, very well could argue that. But I still think you're going to need shots. You're going to need the big plays. I think the Buccaneers make more big plays at home, so I think they split on the season. Very much looking forward to that game, though. Monday night, I got the Patriots kind of getting some momentum back on track. They're winning 27-13 is what I got. They're -7. I think they like Damian Harris, and they're going to continue to try to run him. I think Cam could have a solid day running the ball, and that can open up the passing game. The Jets, it's almost like they want to lose, at this point. Kind of feels like that, especially that they're kind of confident in Gase for the future. Kind of just feels like they're almost in that tank mode, and this year doesn't really count for Gase's resume, I guess, with the Jets or track record. That's what it feels like at the moment. But, I think the Patriots take care of business. They're going to go all out. They're going to know we got to win this game. We're down right now. We're losing momentum. Let's go out there and dominate and show what we got, and that's going to gain it back. That's what they're going to want to roll with. That's what Cam's going to want to do here. So I got them easily taking care of business, 27-13 Patriots. But that does it for the score predictions on Week 9. We're back every single week with these. Plenty of other videos every single week on the channel. Please like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Be much appreciated. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks, everyone, for their support. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.